to tonight's session. I feel it will be very special. We're both a little bit excited, I feel, because we know we're getting into something very profound, you know, and more we will continue with this workshop. Even more profound topics will open up. So it's some sort of excitement and anticipation in the air. So I think, let's see, magic will happen. So we will focus on fourth chakra today, and it's a very vast topic, and just preparing it, we've noticed that we have to really sort of simplify it because we could give so much, but let's just start with sort of like orientation about the fourth chakra and sharing some realizations and insights. So maybe Shimanjari could start, and then definitely stay tuned till the end because we will have some very nice meditations together, so it's worthwhile. Okay, Shimanjari.
Okay, so heart chakra. So the Sanskrit name of this chakra is Anahata. Anahata means undivided. Anahata is the center that is connected to our chest. So the heart chakra is basically on the chest area. There are different, especially in this center, there are usually two energies. So it's a very deep topic, and I feel the more we go higher, I'm less and less and less qualified and able to speak about this wonderful topic because it becomes more and more spiritually profound, and the beauty is that even though everything becomes so subtle, we can still use elements in this world and still find ways in this world to actually work on it and go very deep. So the color generally of this chakra is green. Green is like the nature. So when we think about the heart chakra, we think about space. We think about when we are in nature, the first thing that comes to mind is like doing a deep breath. And when we exhale, we know that there is nothing more essential in this world than having fresh breath, to breathe, to have the freedom within ourselves, to feel that we can actually trust the present moment, we can trust our environment. So breath, and so this element of air is very much at the basic of this element that actually develops on a physical level to our arms and hands. And that's how the process of love, of expressing love, becomes more and more manifested in this world. So there are different ways also to explain the colors, because we see that it's used green color, but often we also see like a pink color. And this refers, and we will also speak about the essential oils, how there are oils that they will help us on healing regarding our lungs, so the breath itself, and we will look at the trees, we will look at the essence of trees, like firs, like cypress. I actually just bought a little cypress tree in my room because it's just, actually I will bring it. Should I bring it?
Okay. To have the real experience of
It's like getting a little obsessed also with this. It's so
wow.
beautiful.
Look at that
it's
green.
like green, yeah. It's like I had it like 3 weeks already, and it's like so strong, and you know, it just needs like very little water, and it's absolutely amazing. I mean, it will grow pretty tall, but for now I feel it's so sweet to have it at home. And it also reminds, actually, you know, like nature is out, like nowadays for most of us, like nature is outside, like we don't have so much contact with nature, and even if we have, it's not directly present in our life. Like we need to go outside, we need to have a reason to go outside. In ancient time, there would have been much more connection with the earth, also how the houses would be made with mud and we also cow dung. So there is, in general, there is a much stronger disconnection from nature, from earth, and this also creates imbalances in our heart chakra, because we need things in our life, and they give us air, they give us the essence, and the trees are the essence of what we actually need, not just for living, not just for the quality of our life, but like really like to be alive. Like we speak about spirituality and we speak about many deep topic, but then the heart reminds us that the essence is actually in the invisible, in the things that we can't see. So it's absolutely mind-blowing how the heart constantly teaches us, not just by words, not by knowledge, not by hearing, not by all of these like more visible elements, but it teaches us by breathing. That is actually like, we can't otherwise. It's like, you can like close your ears, you know, as long as you like, you can close your eyes as long as you like, but you can't close your nose, you can't close your lungs for as long as you like. It's like, you gotta listen in a way or the other to your heart. So it's a very strong lesson that teaches us. That's why it's the most important chakra, because or energy level, because it guides us deeply to what the essence is. And even if we can go crazy in our life and become so disconnected, you can't be too much disconnected, because still the essence is still there. It's still gonna be there in a way or the other. It's still gonna guide you back home. So we have the color. So this is it's a huge topic. So just adding a little bit more information on the fact that there is a center that is in our heart, and then there is another center that is more connected to exactly where the heart is situated physically, so slightly more on the left side. And there is another center that is explained as a lotus. And this lotus is actually a reddish color. And in this reddish color, there is a flame. And in this flame, there is actually the super soul. There is the guiding Atma, there is the Supreme Lord residing. And in this way, there are these two centers that are constantly in connection and communication. And this fire, I was meditating, especially today, about the fact that this fire is red. Why not is like green, or you know? But actually, yeah, it's I don't know if it ever happens to you when you are in front of, I mean, I'm sure it all happens, but when you're in front of a person you love, you're in front of your teachers, you're in front of people that you deeply respect and deeply love, if you're quiet enough, you will feel a little burning on the chest, and sometimes it's beating, sometimes it's palpitation, but it's very much active. We can really feel physically when the heart is involved, and we may say, yes, it's a feeling, but how the bodies react, like it's a whole experience. When the heart open, I had one time an experience when I was in India for the first time, and I saw for the first time how deeply connected with the earth many people are, and even the poor people, how connected they are. And immediately there is like a sense of compassion that awakens toward like poor people that seems like they're suffering, but when you look in their eyes, they're absolutely shining, and they're so humble and so giving that it makes you like question your whole existence of having so much and be so unsatisfied in life. So this is a little bit like the main lesson of humility, of deep compassion. And I remember in that moment that I had this experience, like my heart would just like explode. It feels like it's something that is like going to like completely make you explode, because it's so the more it opens, the more it's actually overwhelming. If you see a person that like is in love, or in young people that they just meet their first lover, it's like an explosion of love. Like the senses become completely awakened, the body becomes completely aware. It's a very transforming experience that it's very difficult, very, very difficult to have on any other level, because the other levels are very much more conditioned by understanding the situation, by doing actually some work. But in the heart chakra is just an experience of love, because that's actually the nature of who we are. So it's everybody's capable of this, it's capable of love. And that's why it's such a deep and intricate, and it's so simple that you can explain it to a child and the child can completely understand it. But it's so deep that there has been written books and a lot of philosophy and anthropology and theosophy about trying to explain what love is, and it's still very much a mystery, that culminates in selfless service. So the beauty of this energy center is that it's not the inner work that one can do is actually about service to others, and even to ourselves. When we speak about self-love, it's not actually about like indulging in ourselves and making ourselves be the best, but is actually still taking the humble position and be like, how can I be a good person today to others? How can I be good so that I can be good to others? How can I be humble and compassionate to myself so that I can be compassionate and humble to others? So it's a very humbling experience. And when we feel like that indulgence, or like self-care, and I have the best of this or the best of that, that's usually very much the second chakra and very much in excess. So when we speak of the heart chakra in excess, we see people that are looking right and left and in every moment for attention. It doesn't matter what they do, but there is this need that I don't know who I don't know where I can find love. So I'm constantly looking, where can I get it? Where can I get it? Where can I get it? Like constantly in this need of love, constantly in this feeling of jealousy, feeling of this deep jealousy that we cannot be well-wishers of others. That stops us from actually wishing well to others. So when it's in excess, we can see like we're actually not so happy for others, and we are constantly feeling bad about others, judging others. Even if it's the perfect person on this earth, we will still find faults. It's still not gonna be as good as it should be. It's that critic that it's yes, it's connected with also the throat, the communication, but it's very much the feeling. We're speaking about the feelings, the emotions here, and how to how to become aware of how the heart, I don't know, sometimes it's important to become sensitive about it, because many times we can be in presence of other people. So it's connected with relationship. Imagine you are in a presence of a person that you actually like don't appreciate, and if you ever will happen next that you will be in the presence of people that you don't actually respect, or you feel like you don't actually relate to, I want you to take a look of how is your heart feeling. You will feel you will, if you try to notice in a more quiet space a little more, you will notice actually some fire there. You will notice how, you know, the Paramatma is giving like the super soul is giving instruction like protect yourself, step back. You know, it's trying to, so when this fire is actually burning, it means like we need to like step back and reorganize, reorganize what's going on inside. And if we can't forgive, if we can't actually forgive that person, or we can't find appreciation, it's always recommended to like step back and create our own space around it. And in the opposite way, if the heart chakra is in defect, there is this sense of isolation, loneliness, sense of abandonment. Nobody loves me. Nobody will ever love me. I don't know. I'm sure everybody knows a person, or maybe our own self, that is like, you know, I will never find the love of my life. I will never meet the right person, you know. So much self-pity and so much self-doubt that actually that love even exists. It's like, you know, just because you're alive, actually love exists. So they find so many reasons of why love it's not there, and so many reasons why love is or the supreme, or you know, whatever way we connect to this loving source, we doubt it. We don't have faith. We absolutely believe that there is no such a thing as a love that can really transform us and fulfill our heart, because it's normal also, because maybe we have never experienced it. Maybe we haven't experienced it for a very, very long time from previous lives. God knows how long we haven't experienced what actually love is. So it's a very natural process to go through these two extremes. And I myself can very much notice in my life how much I go from one extreme to the others. I used to, in my early childhood, I used to be very much on that excess chakra, that I would always look for attention. And then when I went into like 10 years old and my teen, I could see how much I was like, oh, I was so much looking for this love when I was little, and now I'm not finding it, and I'm not finding the right person. And then I start slowly to close and close. And usually we see, you know, people actually becoming old and still closing their heart just because things didn't go as they wanted them to go. You can see in children, they're very open, they're very, usually it's in excess, the heart chakra, but most of the time it's actually balanced, because they have faith, they know they're nourished, they know somebody's taking care of them. But then the more we have expectations, the more we go forward in life, the more it becomes very difficult to see that actually what we really wish to happen doesn't really happen, and that love, even though is our essence, even though is at the basic of our existence, it's not cheap. It's really not cheap. And there is also a huge amount of work to be done that, again, one can study, one can learn, one can train oneself, but actually it's about humility, it's about values. And that's why also when I do these sessions with people, we often speak about values, because this is actually the grounds where people feel ungrounded. They don't know where they're going or what they should be doing or how to move forward in relationship. Usually the ground is in values. And this is the ground that most of us are missing, forgetting, first of all, standing up for ourselves, standing up for our values. This is what it means to be, to respect, deeply respect and honor ourselves, live in balance. So to end and not go too far, this chakra has two energies in one: the energy of the masculine, the energy of the feminine, the energy of the good, the energy of the bad, the energy of positivity, the energy of negativity. They're connected. It is the yin and yang, There are Shakti and Purusha, many ways how it's called, but the core is, it's the same. It's the same essence. We need to go beyond. In order to live in balance, to be steady, to live with grace and gratitude, there must be a balance there. And that balance is rare. You know, it's like everything we speak about this chakra can sound like a cliche, because it's like, right, we hear it, we know, okay, I need to find my balance, you know, but for how long are we trying to find our balance, and how crazy things are going on in this world, and how am I supposed to find balance? Like, if a person from Ukraine would hear me now, it's like, how am I supposed to find balance when everything is pretty much destroyed all around me, and there's nothing much to you know, to find balance in. And this is the challenge, because even though we right now may not be in a war zone, it's still our situation, our existence is still very much delicate, very, very delicate, very if we look even at our finger, how if we can try to think, how many ways can I hurt my finger? You can burn it, you can cut it, you can bite it off, you can inflict so much pain in this little finger. And if I ask you, how can I find pleasure with this finger? You know, it's like, not so much. And this is our existence here. There is not so much. It's very difficult to find the pleasure that naturally one is looking for. And it's so easy it's not even easy, it's like the nature of this world to be in pain, to learn lessons, because this is a place to learn. The earth, our existence in this planet, in this material world, is to learn how to grow, to learn how to transcend these dualities. And that's why compassion is such a wonderful word connected to this chakra, because it reminds us that yes, there is pain, and yes, the pain is true. This is actually the first laws of the Buddhism. Yes, pain exists, and yes, it's real, it feels real, and it is actually real. And then once we understand that this is a place and situation where we are, where there is pain and there will always be pain, only then we can understand, okay, what's the next step? What's the next step? Is there really love in this world? Is there really love within ourselves? And just also the way how the Vedas starts is Atato Brahma Jigyasu. It's like by inquiring. So actually the guidance of the heart teaches us how to ask the proper questions, because when you learn to ask the right questions, that's how you will receive the right answers. And this is my just humble small experience with this chakra that is overwhelming. And you can see when you see a saint that has embodied these qualities in their own heart, deep compassion and humility and understanding and presence, just their presence transforms completely our existence. is absolutely overwhelming, and I am speechless, and that's why it's very difficult to speak about this topic. But I do feel very grateful that I can do this with my dear Mangala, that she also has so many deep inspirations about the heart, and I would like to invite her to speak now.
Thank you very, very much. Yeah, it's like a very meditative topic. And actually, while you were speaking, a lot of things were coming. And I think that what I will share, probably a lot of it will be like summarizing what you said, because a lot is very like conceptual and psychological, but also very profound. So let's see. I really I really appreciated the fact when you were speaking about the yin and yang and all these sort of in English, I don't know, dualities, but how actually the fourth chakra, if we think about it, is just in the middle. So we're starting now from the first chakra up. So we had 3 chakras before, and then we will continue with 5th, 6th, and 7th. So fourth chakra is just in the middle. And also, if you think about it, it's in the rib cage. So it's sort of like a protected space. And that's why also Anahata, its meaning is unstruck. So basically, if our relationships in life are balanced, if this energy of the heart is balanced, then things will be like unstruck. We will be protected. So there will be no clashes. We will not feel any resistance. We will not feel, blocks. But it will be like unstruck. It will be like really protected place. So, and also like the fact how if we visualize the energy flows, so one goes from down up. So this is when things go transcending, we're going from ground, materialized, and into transcendence. And then there's another flow which goes from transcendence and it materializes, and here they meet. So here is where this whole balance is actually created of all the energy centers. And when we understand that this is like sort of the focus of relationships, so first of all, relationship with ourselves, with others, and with the divine. So it's a very important aspect that we actually all are working on in one way or other. And that's why if we are balanced, so we're constantly looking for this balance, with this flow. And if we're balanced, actually all these relationships will be also balanced. And on the other hand, if any of the other centers is imbalanced, it will show in our relationships. So it's very important to actually work on that. And if our fourth chakra is out of balance, so it's either in defect or excess, then it will be very difficult to have relationships with others or like ourselves as well. So that's very kind of striking for me. And we were just talking today with Shimanjari actually about the fact of how when we're going through difficult situations in life, many times it's so hard to take care of ourselves, sort of to focus on this concept of self-love, which is actually like sort of the basis. And like you mentioned, the self-love doesn't just mean that, I start to love myself, how great I am, but it's more of like self-care, self-compassion, which starts on this energetic level of acceptance and appreciation of ourselves first in relation to the divine and, like you mentioned, these 2 centers. And then from there, we can actually go out and give to others. So the concept of self-love is actually very, very important and profound. To realize how it actually affects other things in our life. Just to be a little bit like concrete, and I know we will go into that later when we speak about the oils and the healing itself. I wanted to mention how the imbalance in this chakra would affect, besides our relationships, it would also affect our immune system. It would cause us, for example, when we have fever, this is also coming from this heart area. Anything to do with arms, which are very connected with heart chakra. So when we have no strength or we hurt the arms. Also shoulder blades, anything to do with back, lower, higher back. And of course, any tension in the chest area, the heart, anything to do with breasts, breastfeeding, and shoulders. So shoulders would also be combination of 5th and 4th and 5th chakra. So when we're healing these areas, it's also energetic healing with the 4th chakra. And you also already mentioned some aspects of having this chakra in excess, in defect. So in excess, it would always be that we are very feeling very sacrificing, we're doing so much for other people, and we're feeling so attached to others, we're so needy, and constantly looking for attention. And if you've ever heard this sentence of, I do so much for you, but I don't get anything in return. So this is very much the aspect of 4th chakra in excess. And also jealousy would appear very easily. And then in defect, we would have it very difficult time to love, to open to this energy of love, and we wouldn't be able to even perceive love, which comes naturally. Of course, also we wouldn't be able to express this love towards ourselves. There would be very cold feelings, and you already mentioned the feeling of being lonely and actually wanting to be lonely, and very hard to forgive others or oneself. And this aspect of forgiveness and self-forgiveness we will be working on today also at the end, because this very much blocks the energy of love. And if we just imagine when there is no love, what happens? Sadness comes. So this is sort of like a replacement. And this energy of sadness can very quickly lead to depression. So this depression from the effect of 4th chakra, it's just sort of when we feel very much alone, and it can also lead to very serious depression. So it's important to work on that. And then we can imagine that there is a situation when we have both. And this is also when you mentioned that sometimes we can go to extremes of being very needy and then again just completely withdrawing. And this can be a sign that the chakra is both in excess and defect. And it's very important to balance it, to be able to function in relationships. And what helped me a lot to understand these two concepts of self-love and love to others was that it's like as if we are creating a relationship program. Imagine it's already being created since previous lifetimes, but also very much in our childhood. But since as adults we do have a lot of influence on how we will heal whatever wounds, disappointments we have from the past, it's very important to work on this relationship program, because however this program will be, this is how we will treat ourselves and consequently also treat others. And we will attract certain people according to this program. So thus it's very, very important to be aware of it. And this awareness of any energetic disbalances will already give a lot of balance which we need. So this is the main things that I really wanted to share. And and again, if we think about the heart chakra as the exact center of the chakra system, it's sort of an integrator to balance everything, the whole system. And when we open the heart chakra, is actually coming to balance, and then actually the peace will come, and this peace will be pervading everything in our lives, the relationships, but also our surroundings. So such a big topic to work on. So I suggest that we go to more concrete healing practice that we were also talking about last time with the oils. Because actually, if we think about healing itself in general, it's like becoming unhurt, yeah? So we are hurt by different experiences in life, previous lifetimes perhaps also. And with healing, we actually get unhurt. And therefore, we will become more whole, yeah? And that the heart chakra will balance. So maybe, Shimanjari, you want to start with talking about the oils which can help us to balance this chakra.
Yes, I like so much this point you made about being unheard. Actually, it's reminds me of when I was a few months ago. I think it was November, and I was feeling a little bit like I was losing hope. And when there is that feeling that, you know, you feel like you're starting to like close yourself and lose hope, I immediately, because I've been always very sensitive to my lungs, immediately I started to have like chest infection. And that wasn't even COVID or anything. Like I had probably the worst I had in the last 10 years. And not because of COVID, but just because like I consciously could actually see I was really closing myself because of some external circumstances that I felt I just couldn't forgive myself for having been dealing in a certain way, like very judgmental toward myself. And the lungs are very, very affected to the inner judgment. So this I regrouped these oils that connects with the lungs on a green color. We will also do when we balance the meditation on the chakra on the green color. And so when we spoke about the first chakra, I don't know if you remember, we were speaking about how different oils, but we didn't speak about like the trees like Siberian fir, like Ravintsara, like all these trees that actually have strong roots. And this is the reason why we didn't speak them, because actually their whole purpose is to work on the heart, on the lungs. So these oils that we will speak, and we will just pick a few, like for example, Cyprus, have this little tree, Cyprus, or air, we have eucalyptus, arbor vitae, like all these oils that are actually strong trees. They actually helps with the lungs. Even pine tree, we don't have it in doTERRA, but pine essential oil also very strong. Ravintsara, arbor vitae. So for example, speaking just of a few of this category, like Cyprus is a very strong oil that really helps incredibly when we feel like relationships are just heavy. There's just this heaviness of like relationship, this like karmic relationship. Like we feel like relationship like are a burden. And we even feel with ourselves, like, you know, even with ourselves, like we feel our life is a burden, like everything becomes heavy. In this case, Cyprus is really good to remove that heaviness. It like opens the lungs. Another oil is like Siberian fir. I have it here, I want to smell it actually. You know what, it's really, again, like really going deep, and they have all like a kind of like a minty smell, like really refreshing smell, but they go even deeper. For example, Siberian fir goes very deep on if you had a loss and you're dealing with like letting go, finding strength again after this loss. All this fir, I think in doTERRA we have Siberian fir and balsam fir.
Douglas fir.
fir.
Yeah, that one is really nice actually.
Yeah. And they really help to rebuild that trust, rebuild that even if we have been through some losses, even if we've been through some we've been cheated on, or we lost our faith in ourselves or in our partner, they really help us to like clear out this energy. Cypress, fir oils, they help so much with that. And then we have eucalyptus and Zenjust, that they work very much on. Zenjust is actually an amazing discover that I just by reading a book on essential oil from a Chinese medical doctor that was using alternative medicine. He was saying how the use of caraway, that unfortunately doTERRA doesn't have it separately, is only in Zengest. The use of caraway and peppermint oil actually build such a strong connection that they help against viruses and against infection, like eucalyptus also. And the last one is breed. Was another one. Yeah. But definitely breed. This is also thyme actually, but this is all another. I don't want to get into that now. Breed and on guard, of course. Cinnamon, all the spices, cinnamon, thyme, oregano, all these heating spices, they all help with the immune system, because we have a gland here. This is the thyme gland, and this is the gland that regulates the immune system. Just a little another experience I want to share with you is that when I was I always had lung problems, and around 10 years ago I started practicing some tapping technique on just basic tapping on my thyme gland that I was learning in my meditation practices. And absolutely amazing, like when I feel a little bit sick, but this works especially at the start when you're not like fully sick, so because the body needs to train itself, just by tapping on the thyme gland and around like the lungs, but mainly on the bone that is here, like you can see in the middle of the breast,
sternum, it's called
the sternum. Yeah, there is like a bone that comes out, and is a booster. It's such an immunity booster. And immediately when I feel like something is getting a little wrong, I just stay there, and I also, with some affirmation, I am healthy, my immune system is healthy and strong. It really start to build up that energy in the whole area. So it's really absolutely wonderful how much that can help. Just little thing, even just awareness, that this is the center that regulates our immunity, that already helps. So this is this level. And just again, to open, there are beautiful asana, any asana that really opens the chest, opens very much the shoulder. There is the arch pose, for example, where you bend on the floor and you place your hands behind, touching also your ankles. Well, all these poses where there is like a band, it's all very helpful. My favorite is when you hold like a stick, the broom sometime, and you go back and forth. That really helps, like this all energy here to open and actually strengthen the shoulders, strengthen the openness of this area. Yeah, and then we have the other side of the sweet oil, so like more like the pinkish energy that manga.
I wanted to just say that when I heard about digest zen being good for heart chakra balancing, I thought of the fact of, it's so intuitive that when we can't digest something, some person, some relationship, some emotions, actually digest zen helps us. So it's actually very
true.
intuitive. I wanted to just shortly speak about actually there's many flowery oils actually that we can use. I just very much love rose. I was working a lot with rose also on other chakras. It's very much, we always say that rose is such a very deep and sweet smell. And it's a very precious oil, and it really talks about self-care and self-love. So when we really need this just cocoon time for ourselves, to come back to ourselves, to our roots, to our center, to our awareness of what's happening for us on our emotions, rose is really nice to apply. I think also they speak about sometimes when we have pain in the shoulder blade area or in the back, so we can always apply these oils there. And this is really more working with the past, so we have something going on in the back, would be more connected with the childhood. So we could apply also these oils on the back. So rose is very beautiful and very potent. It's interesting, now that I smell it, I don't feel overwhelmed anymore because I use it more. At the beginning, I couldn't stand it. It was just so overwhelming. I had to use the Touch series, but now I work with this more and I love it. The second oil, or actually this was my first oil to work on the heart chakra, was Patchouli. And Patchouli is such an interesting oil. Personally, I couldn't stand it at all. When I first time smelled it, I closed it and I gave it to my husband and I said, please use it in your office, don't bring it home. It was so, I couldn't really relate to it. And then I was actually doing some healing work and I got an advice to try it on my heart chakra. So I did that and I started to absolutely love it. And many times now I use it as a perfume. You know, I don't consciously work with it for some reason because I have other oils. But I sometimes just use it as a perfume because it's sort of like so grounding. And I know many people who smell it, they love the smell absolutely on, like when I wear it. So patchouli is very beautiful, and in combination with geranium, it's very, very powerful. And then what I've learned also is that patchouli actually helps us to, again, feel this, you know, being in the body. Because when we're doing spiritual practices, we talked about it in the second chakra, we many times go and transcend and go out of the body, yeah, and it is higher spheres. But patchouli brings us down back into the body to feel, okay, I'm here, I'm present, and I'm working with things that are going on right here, right now. And then the one that I just found, actually just before I left house today, it kind of, you know, sometimes oils talk to you. I don't know if you have that. So this one talked to me. It's magnolia. And magnolia is widely used as perfume, you know, for different perfumes as a base. But it's such a beautiful flower, actually, and it really speaks about compassion. So how I use it mainly when I'm doing healing for myself or when I advise others is really to work on self-compassion to start with. Because this is always the place where we need to start when we're working with compassion. So just applying in a chest area, I sometimes apply just everywhere, even on the face. It's really nice. You can use it as a face mask, and then that's a very nice diffuser. So so in combination with the meditation we will be doing it today, also it's very, very powerful oil, you know, with working with forgiveness and compassion and so on. So magnolia. There's many others like ylang ylang and which else we were talking about? Shimanjari. These ones are the ones that I mainly use.
Jasmine.
Jasmine, right. Jasmine, yeah, I was looking for it. It's hidden. It hid itself. But jasmine is also very beautiful too. Just used on the face. And I guess for starting to work with oils, like we said last time, maybe work with oils that are familiar to you and oils that actually already quote unquote speak to you. We spoke about it last time. We mentioned what are some ways to recognize how to start with or check with kinesiology with somebody else. So the oils. Yeah. So I'm wondering, you have something to add on this?
I just wanted to add a little thing, because also today when I was meditating on it, I was like, because we spoke before and we were like, we didn't mention magnolia, and then I was like, how can I ever forget on this time? Like, especially in topics like today, personally, like that I was feeling like I'm going through this momentum where I'm kind of like parenting myself, trying to understand how to move through life through changes. And magnolia, I don't know if you ever try it, it's so sweet. So sweet, it almost makes you allergic to sweets, like to eat sweets, because It's so sweet, and it really goes deeper into, you know, whatever you're doing, you do it with love. You know, it just reminds, it goes very deep, and it's like, you know, whatever you do it with love. It's like a sweet reminder that doesn't matter what you're doing, do it nicely, do it with care, you know, and it's so sweet. Like it just speaks sweetly, and it's such a support. I used to actually use it because I heard Elena Bauer, this also very good oil that you were recommending, this wonderful speaker, also like wellness advocate, that to use it on the kidneys, because the kidneys are always actually working so hard for us, you know, to always hydrate the body and bring the right
Beautiful.
hormones and balance the hormones. So I used to use it behind the back a lot to yeah, to bring that kindness, actually, you know, like especially to the parts of the body that you feel that overworking, like to bring some compassion and be like, you're doing well, you know, on the liver, on the stomach, like just to bring that sweetness to each part of our being. So it's really amazing. And patchouli, I have to say, it just smells like perfume. Like I still can't relate. It's true. It's very helpful to connect with the body and feel more comfortable within and confident, I think, also, no? But I yeah, a long way.
You didn't speak yet.
Yeah, we didn't.
Yeah, I'm wondering, I'm sure that there's a lot of things will still come up for us, but maybe if there are some questions from those of you who are here, you're welcome to ask now, because then we will slowly be entering into our meditation part, which will be, yeah, very, very, yeah, I hope sweet. So if there's any like questions, you could ask now. Otherwise, we will definitely grab our favorite oil that kind of resonated the most right now and be ready for starting. Yeah. Lynn, did you have a question? Yes.
Yes, I do. In my younger years of devotees, I had a girlfriend that I have the deities from, Mother Ladini, and she was murdered in Africa. And I never got over it. I cannot even read her book that's written about her. Just the name almost made me cry. How do you get to that kind of deepness with your oils?
Thank you for asking. Shimandra, you want to start? It's a deeply healing topic.
Yeah, well, it's I mean, the oil can help us, right? It's not nothing is here to like fix everything, and the whole for example, if you think of a flower, there is a beautiful analogy that only when a flower gets fully crushed, that's when she will release the essence, right? So that's how the oils actually teach us, you know. They are not the plant from where the oils came from. It's not there anymore. Actually, we murdered we murdered the oils, but actually they are here to guide us in different ways. So different experiences of life, I feel like they happen because they are here to guide us and to teach us to go deeper, to seek the essence. And it's up to us how much we are able and willing and trusting that this is the right process, that we are going in the right direction. Because there is not like we said before, the heart doesn't speak of laws. There are many laws that we can follow by following the heart, but actually ultimately the heart says break all rules and just love, you know, with whatever situation, with whatever you have. So many times it just hurts a lot, and it's just the reality. but that also give us the opportunity to go deeper. And these oils, they can just guide us and support us, but definitely they don't make the it's a deep personal experience, and you're very strong and brave for having gone through it. It means that you have the capacity in your heart to grow deeper and to help so many people, because ultimately the lesson is help yourself so that you can help others. And yeah, I find admirations in people that have seen or have gone through hardships and they've found the strength to actually move forward. It's I do take yeah, a lot of respect and appreciation for those who have done this.
Very empowering answer. What I thought of is also because when we work specifically on this energetic level, what I've noticed is that there's many layers that we work in. You know, so sometimes we start to work and everything seems just chaotic and overwhelming, and we don't know where to look. And as we release, more we release, and we're able to see deeper, sort as if the picture would become more clear. It doesn't mean it might become more easy, but it's sort of like as if it becomes a little more clear. So sometimes we have to work in stages. It's like a process, it's not instant. So patience and trust also is very important, that we have the right guidance from within also, that we're guided constantly, not just by others, but just also by, like we said, the super guide, which is who is in our heart, so that we are developing this trust more and more with every healing process. So the harder the process is, the more overwhelming it is, it seems like the deeper we can go and more strength we will gather, more experience, more wisdom, more inner wisdom. Yeah, but definitely it doesn't mean it's easy. And patience is very much the key, isn't it? We've talked about it today also with Shimanjari. So thank you for your question.
Actually, it's really interesting because at this point, your class started a few weeks back, and I ended up with a knife in my back that's still not gone, but it goes from there and it comes back right here. And my lungs are worse than they ever were. But I go to the doctor the other day and he said, "Oh, your lungs are improving." And I'm like, "What? Really?" He said, "Yeah, you breathe better." So technically what happened is I use my oils, but I also have a nebulizer, and it gives strength to my lungs, but the bottom lungs were not working. So now that they are working, I have pain everywhere in my back and my front because that muscle I haven't worked for so many years. And it's really interesting because now I'm 65 and I'm like, my God, that hurt. Yesterday, I ate breakfast and I just threw it all up. And I'm like, what's going on with me? So it's all in the top. And since I started to work on the chakra, they're all doing something else. And it's opening me, but like, can you open a little bit less fast?
Good point. Yeah, good point.
But no, it's
Yeah.
just opening at his own pace. And I'm like, oh my God. And then you see some of your dearest friends dying of cancer, and you just have a hard time to adjust to all this. And this COVID that just locked us all up. I'm so glad you ladies did this class because it's such a saving grace for me.
Glad to hear that. Yeah, I
to
think that
say
was
this.
our meditation as well to sort of share what we have gotten, isn't it, Manjari? And to actually expand it like that as well while we are researching it more, we also receive a lot. So definitely it's important to pace oneself. So good observation that when we're doing energetic work, it's important to pace oneself according to our abilities. In general, when we do healing.
Yeah,
So
I
thank
have to
you for
go
that.
back with all my tests because all my tests came back like nothing is wrong with me. But there I have problems with my liver, my gallbladder, I'm throwing up my breakfast, and everything is perfect. And I'm like, something is missing somewhere. And then I'm thinking, maybe it's just my energy that's shifting. But it's kind of a funny feeling anyway, that to learn to live with the shifting energy. How do you conquer them? Yeah.
You have something to add, Manjari?
I think, I'm very grateful to hear that, you are doing so much practice actually and working so religiously with this oil, and they do work, they do give such a strong support. So it's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Yeah.
Right. I already grabbed my magnolia. I will work with magnolia today. Okay. But feel free to take any oil that we spoke about or any oil that you kind of...
Even lavender, I think, is also, or what is like in the 10 oils package. You can always
On
use
guard.
frankincense,
On guard, air or air. Air is also
air.
very...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So just feel free to, and will you have some music, Shimanji?
Yes.
You can just leave it for the whole duration so that we don't get disturbed in between.
We will start this meditation by just connecting with our breath. So find your comfortable sitting position and slowly allow your body. So first of all, we want to align it. So we start by feeling the spine and try to align it as if there is like a thread that is pulling us up in a way that the head is nice and long, the spine is nice and straight, shoulders are nice and open, and the chest, the rib cage is closed. So there is these two energies. We want to sit comfortably, inhaling deeply and exhaling. And slowly I want you to feel, try to not cross both hands and feet. Inhaling deeply and exhaling, allowing the body to become a little bit more heavy into the chair. Feel your feet. Close your eyes. Allow your shoulders to gently soften. Allow the lower back to gently soften into the chair. And let's just become aware of how the breath is gently going in and out. And slowly inside and outside. And inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Deeply inhaling and exhaling. Allow the breath to be nice and long, and deeply exhaling. Feel your head, your eyes, your nose, your mouth gently softening. And allow the attention to slowly go to the center of the heart. And here we want to use our oil. By focusing on our heart, we can pick the oil with our left hand. And then, using our left hand, we place the oil. First we smell it on both hands so we can rub. Deep inhale, deep exhale. And then we want to apply it on our chest. And again, deep inhale and exhale. Deep inhale and exhale. Let's connect with the oil. And you can affirm with me, I am loved and protected. I am deeply and truly loved. My immune system is healthy and strong. You can also apply it on a little bit down where the bone is, and I want you to try with me also the little tapping. So with your right or left hand, you can place it in a little, all the fingers together, and just gently tap on the collar, on the bone in the middle, and just gently notice if it's painful or if it feels good. Just very gently, and keep repeating with me. My immune system is healthy and strong. I truly love and respect myself. I live life in balance with grace and compassion. Again, my immune system is healthy and strong. I am truly and deeply loved. I live life in balance with grace and compassion. One more time. My immune system is healthy and strong. Try to feel the emotion connected to it. I am truly and deeply loved. I live life in balance with grace and gratitude. I forgive you. 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 Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love you. I love you. Try to really feel the feeling. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. And now we will do 5 times, recite the mantra, visualizing this beautiful green color beaming out inside and outside from our chest. So deep inhale, the mantra is YAM, Y-A-M, YAM. So let's try all together. You can place your hands in Anjali Mudra, so in prayer position. That's also very powerful. Relax your shoulders, align your spine. 5 times together, deeply exhale first, and then inhale. YAM. Inhale. YAM. Inhale. YAM. In. YAM. One last time. YAM. Keep a slow and gentle breathing in and out.
We will continue with the same music. You can just unmute. You have to unmute, remember, and we can have the same music as a background, beautiful background. And yeah, thank you. So we can continue with the meditation on forgiveness. We're in the right space, so you can continue with your closed eyes and breathing in a relaxed manner. And we will now visualize like a brilliant white energy surrounding us everywhere. Like a circle of white energy. And this white energy will take us, make our body completely light. There is no heaviness remaining. Just see how we're going up and up, higher and higher towards the universe. Straight into the center of the universe. Then you can see how this white energy opens and forms like an 8, but horizontal 8, like a sign of infinity. And we will be in one of these circles, and there's another circle. And in this circle, we will visualize the person that we would like to forgive. Some person that we feel that we really need to forgive. It could be ourselves. It could be another person from the past or present. And we visualize how there's like black chains connecting us, and they're heavy. So we turn inward with a prayer to the divine to help us break these chains of connection, to help us become free and peaceful. So visualize how beautiful person appears and just with a flash disconnects all these black chains. Like a beautiful golden disc cuts them off. So we can still see the black chains lying on the ground. And this is an opportunity to pray to Goddess of Love to help us to remove all this toxicity from our bodies or our connections that were not helping us to grow, to become more open. So the Goddess appears, and with right hand, a beautiful visualizing of violet color, which removes all the toxicity and all the remnants of these negative connections with that person. And then through the breath, we can again center to our heart space, where a beautiful flower appears. Just look at this flower. What color is it? What shape is it? Maybe you can even perceive the fragrance of this flower. So take this flower now in your hand and offer it to the other person that you would like to forgive, with all the conviction that I forgive you. Thank you. And the person receives this flower and takes it to the heart, where it melts with this green color. So we can visualize how the green color in our heart and their heart becomes even more bright, brilliant, and shiny. And in that moment, the circle is open. So we are in one big white circle. And we can really feel this energy of forgiveness deeply entering and exchanging. So if this is the person we would like to keep connection with, we can embrace them and hold that embrace. And if this is the person we need to let go, just let them go. So we thank them. We visualize the beautiful, brilliant, white energy as a flow of divine blessings coming and showering us and showering that person as well. And just embracing the whole body throughout. So we feel strengthened. We feel refreshed, revitalized throughout. Slowly, slowly, we will be slowly coming back down towards the planet Earth, to the country where we are, to the house where we stay, to the room where we are sitting right now, to the place where we are sitting. We feel our sitting bones. We feel our feet on the ground. And we can slowly, slowly start to move. Our toes, shoulders. We can stretch. Breathe in deeply, maybe shake if there's something to shake off. And we can slowly open our eyes whenever you're ready. So, thank you for cooperating. Very nice. So we can do this a couple of times if we feel still some remnants of left. So thank you for everything, and I think it's a beautiful conclusion.
Very grounding, very forgiving.
Mm-hmm.
It's always, so important.
So I think tell me, what did you? Mm-hmm.
I was feeling so much this, especially when it's about forgiveness, and we speak about the burning of the heart. It's like, it's very real for me. I don't know. I wanted to ask you also, like, you and those of you who are present, how do you feel with this burning of the heart? Because sometimes I feel like, is it normal? Like, I feel like so often, this, this sensation just in the chest, always like, going around, and it's especially when it's about, going out of your own comfort zone and forgiving and trying to come closer to other, or even to myself. Sometimes I feel it's not so easy.
I know what you mean, and I managed to many times imagine how this burning actually burns away any resistance, selfishness, or any things that we are actually trying to work through. So it's a powerful energy, isn't it? It's a very powerful energy. Yeah. With more experience, I think we will, we will just learn how to utilize that burning sensation. And it will not be maybe any more confusing or distracting, but it will just help us burn anything that's there that we don't really need, to transcend or to materialize. So it will be like really helping us. Yeah, thank you so much. I see that naturally also my computer is like shutting off. Yeah, the battery. So thank you so much for being with us, and we'll definitely post the recording. And I think we both would encourage you to do these practices on your own. Even visualization of self-forgiveness, which is probably the most difficult process. And we can do it a couple of times, even, about the same topic. And try to visualize ourselves in the other circle and then how we merge. So it's a very powerful way to actually do that. We can record ourselves, I think I mentioned that last time, and just put that recording more times, so it kind of really becomes more real.
It does go deep. It does, even if we feel it's maybe we are not there, even just the practice, it does help to go a little deeper and be a little bit more truthful also with our sensation, and it's really powerful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So stay tuned. In 2 weeks we will meet for the 5th chakra, and